stream. Hopefully, y'all will find this one as well as you did the last one. We actually had a good number of people on that last one, and I accidentally ended it because I'm a dumbass, and that's not a cuss word.
Yes, it was. Mouth, mouth.
Mouth, mouth. So, wow. Did not mean to peace out on y'all so suddenly without any sort of goodbyes. That was rather abrupt. Hello, one person that's back in there. Sorry, y'all. I was having stream connectivity issues and then I accidentally just ended it. So we are back. We are back. Okay. Really, I wasn't gonna stay on too much longer, but I did want to get some feedback, and maybe you can do it in the comments, and I'll try to check it. But it's just, again, that's what I was just wanting to brush up for my next video was going to be a really in-depth dive. Thank you, dear. Very in-depth dive into that the moon issue because I know that I mentioned it in a recent video, man, but it was it's a point that's real important because it's something that anyone can verify, anyone can look up and see the dang moon, right? Hello.
I'm getting shooting stuff. He's doing a live video.
Yeah, hey, I'm streaming, so you're fine to come in and everything. Just no cussing. All right. So wow, I got cottonmouth bad. Hold on, people. All right. So we got the people piling back in. Can I get a thumbs up and a comment if y'all can hear and see me okay? Just to make sure that audio and video is coming through good. Can just give me oh, we got a thumbs up, so good. Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that, y'all. Again. All right, so you tell me, guys, what do y'all want to talk about? You tell me, and I will talk about anything you want. We got Jason White. We got Zan3119. What's up? What's up? Oh, I see. What's up, everybody? Yeah, sorry about that. So you guys tell me what topic do you want me to cover? This will be the third topic of the night, and perhaps the last, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll freestyle a little bit for you guys. I'm just glad to be in the free zone and glad to be among good company and have all you. Oh, you're good. Have all y'all. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Coriolis effect flat. What's up? Antonio Subrat Flemets. It's been a minute since I've seen Antonio Subarats. Okay, so why don't we see the new moon? Well, okay, so what are the moon phases, right? I guess that's a good question. So we know that it's not what the heliocentric theory purports, right? Couldn't possibly be. So what are the moon phases according to the flat Earth model? Well, we have our ideas. I mean, I would say that things are mysteries. There are mysteries out there, and how did I put in the video? In order to disprove the Santa Claus phenomenon, you don't need to disprove Rudolph's red nose, right? So once you show like the moon is visible from a place where it couldn't be, or where you show that there's no curvature, or you prove that there's no motion of the Earth, then the ball Earth theory just definitely falls apart, and no further explanation is necessary. But in terms of the moon phases, I'm one of the few who of the flat Earth community that still reserves the possibility that the moon phases have to do with the relationship of the moon and the sun. So, in other words, there's an element of the community that leans more towards the phases being because of the moon is self-luminous or something to that effect. I don't necessarily adhere to that. I mean, it's a possibility, I would say, but I would also say that it's a strong possibility that the phases of the moon have to do with the relationship of the moon and the sun, not, of course, in the ball Earth sort of arrangement, but more to do with the elevation of the two. So it is possible that the relative elevation overhead the plane of the moon and the sun varies. Okay? And so why don't we see the new moon? It's because there's no light to reflect. And in fact, so even see the moon when it's not lit, if it's a physical object, it should be obscuring stars that it passes in front of, and in fact, it does not. And so that leads me to believe that perhaps the moon is either not even a physical object at all. It may be some sort of a plasma dealio. But the fact of the matter is, if the ball Earth theory were true, then the moon would definitely blot out stars as it transits their physical position, right? So the moon's phases, though, again, if the moon and sun are alternating, because they both go around the same path, right? The moon takes a month to go from Tropic of Capricorn to Tropic of Cancer and back, whereas the sun takes a year. So it's the tortoise and the hare sort of parable living itself out. But their relationship in altitude, it seems, may be variable. And there's other circumstantial evidence to support this. So, like, you have the different types of eclipses, right? You've got the annular eclipses where the moon transits the sun and leaves a ring around the moon. And then you have total eclipses, solar, where the moon transits the sun and completely blots out the sun. So that tells me that the apparent relative sizes of the two objects, if they are objects, varies. So if that varies, why couldn't their relative altitudes vary? Okay. So again, assuming that the sun and moon are physical objects, which is a huge assumption, the moon's phases could be caused by that relative altitude change. The moon would be full when it is higher than the sun, and it would be no moon when it's lower than the sun. And so the reason that you couldn't see it is because there's no light hitting it to reflect back. Okay. And that would be my guess. But again, there are mysteries out there, man. We don't know even what the sun and moon are. We know that the moon is not some destination where lying Freemasons can go run around on. Working for NASA, getting paid $19 billion. Yeah. And nothing against Freemasons, man. I really don't have anything against them. But the fact that people get together behind closed doors and agree to basically snow everybody, that's a bit much, dude. To the tune of $19 billion a year, no less, to this day. Oh, what did you guys think of that track I put on the last video, Whitey's on the Moon? It's funny, man. Love that track. So did that answer the question, or did that only just complicate things in the comments? Let's see. The sun powers the moon battery, a reflection. I know you can see the stars through the moon. The moon is electromagnetic. Yeah, that's right. You can't, like, if the heliocentric theory were true, then the moon would definitely be covering up the stars. I mean, there's just nothing but problems when it comes to the ball Earth theory. Like, every which way you slice it, there's just problem after problem. Okay. So, any other topic suggestions? That was a bit of a side twack. Jesse N says, the moon picks up the sun rays. I'm sorry, Jason White says, the moon picks up the sun's rays. Jesse N says, I have high-end pictures of what? High-end pictures of... High-end pictures. Well, I have high-end pictures too. Okay, so the sun powers the moon battery, Oh, y'all are just, y'all are going in the crash on. Yeah.
It's a Death Star.
The Death Star. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but really though, reconnecting. In order for Hello, am I back online? Okay. Do I have connectivity now? I think I do. Okay, so we're dwindling down to 9, 8. Wow, they're just dropping like flies. So do I seem to be coming in clear now? It seems that I am. Okay. Well, okay, so back to OIC before I wrap this up. Yeah, I totally agree with you that what's gotten us into a lot of trouble with the heliocentric model is trying to come up with answers for everything right down to the umpteenth decimal point. And really, it's a bit of arrogant. It's a bit arrogant, I think, to assume that we can come up with answers for everything. And I would say that leaving the heavens a mystery is a wise thing, because frankly, nobody's ever gone there physically. Nobody's ever going. Certainly not NASA. The fact of the matter is, the Earth we know measurably is flat and stationary, and so the moon, while it is a light in the sky, it's not a destination. And so anyone that claims they know what the moon is or know what's going on with the phases precisely, I think is just is deluded. They're lying to themselves. But we definitely have ideas. We have theories that we can humor and test to the best of our ability. But that's about all we can do. I mean, that is what science is doing the best with the tools that you got, isn't it? And admitting when you don't have answers and and striving for answers when you can. But again, certain things I think are best left to mystery. I mean, permanent mystery, I think. All right. So I guess so. Any other topics before we wrap it up that you guys wanted me to cover before we bounce out of here? I know it's let's see here. Only 10:15. It seems later. It seems later than that. All right.
Black holes is space for time and
So no mas. Well, I'll give you guys a minute. I know there's a bit of a delay,
Something about the
and I'm
black
gonna
hole
have
over
a sip of me
Hey, saying
frosted.
something about the black hole over here.
Black hole. What about black hole?
So what the hell's a black hole?
It's Chuck, right? It's just about Einstein's theories of relativity. So it all boils down to E equals mc squared is part of it. Are you familiar with what that
Oh,
is?
yeah.
So energy.
I'm familiar with all of it, what bothers me
Okay.
is what happens when we prove it's wrong?
So what they say a black hole is, they say that it's like a super dense amount of gravity all in one place, like a supernova star collapses in on itself, and the gravity's so dense that not even light can escape. And in fact, they were only theoretical until relatively recently. This machine, it's called the LIGO, believe it or not. LIGO, it's a mass interferometer device. It's basically they've got two laser beams that are firing 90 degrees of one another here on Earth. This is a real multi-billion-dollar thing that our tax dollars pay for, LIGO. And the interferometer is supposedly detecting minor changes in looking for gravity waves. They've been running it for years. Okay, and these lasers fire, it's like 3 or 4 kilometers long, and they hit a mirror and come back, and they measure just the slightest amount of variance that these lasers went through. So like if a truck drives by 5 miles away, it'll pick that up. And they were looking for gravity waves for the longest time, and then recently, within the last 3 years, they finally found proof of gravity, and they finally found proof of black holes all at once. So they say like 1.3 billion. This is what they say. This isn't even me making it up. 1.3 billion years ago, in a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago. No bullshit. A supernova, two supernovas like basically merged and turned into two black holes. Two black holes merged and turned into one, and it caused this huge gravity ripple through space and time. Took 1.3 billion years to get here, right? And then finally they proved gravity. But the thing is, though, the whole theory of gravity, all of that space and time, all of that relies on the heliocentric theory.
Okay, well now here's my question. If gravity requires mass, and there's no mass in space other than the planets, then how do you get gravity through through space? That's where I'm confused.
Well,
Because they say that the black holes are, gravity. They pull.
Personally, I think it's pressure. I don't think it's gravity.
You know,
I think
'cause
So-
I've always
it's
wondered
sort
about
of a
that because
pressure.
do you
Where
not
the
have to have
pressure
mass?
Oh, wait a
in
minute.
order to have gravity?
so we have the perfect thing for content right here while we're live. You're relatively new to the topic altogether.
Yeah.
Okay. So my position would be, I'm going to give you the crazy ball answer that you're going to think, wow, this guy's nuts. Space doesn't exist, neither does gravity. All
I believe
space.
that space exists, but
Okay.
I believe you can't have gravity without mass, which you don't have in space. You have basically a vacuum.
Borrow my
Am I
jacket.
wrong on that theory?
Well, what they say that mass is
Borrow my jacket.
what they say that weight is two objects. So you've got a highly massive large object that has gravity,
Yeah.
and then another secondary object that has a little bit of gravity. Their attraction to one another is based on the amount of mass in each, and their proximity to one another. And that's what gravity is. That's what measures weight on a scale, is two objects tugging on each other. So, but here's the thing, like look for experimental evidence or practical evidence of gravity in reality. So like it should be scalable, right? Like
Should be.
all the other laws of physics are scalable. So you can do it on a huge scale or a little scale, it doesn't matter. They're more or less going to work. But like, where can you find evidence of gravity working on a small scale, like mass being attracted to mass? Like it works for magnets, right? Magnets can attract or repel. That's measurable. You can feel it. But like, have you ever seen like, I don't know, sprinkle flour around a bowling ball or something? You never see the flour like sticking around the bowling ball and like wanting to
Right.
cling to it.
But if you spin the bowling ball at a fast enough rate, you should be able to get what they call gravity. That's the theory behind Earth's gravity.
Well, I disagree. Okay. So the Baller theory purports that gravity is the opposite of centrifugal. Like if you're spinning something that creates centrifugal force,
Yeah.
that's an outward push.
Right, like a merry-go-round or some shit.
Right. So that has nothing to do with gravity. In fact, they say gravity is to apologize for that. Because like check it out. If you got two weights in your hands and you start spinning around,
You're
right?
gonna go out.
The weights want to tug out. So that's centrifugal force. That would be like pushing out towards space, right?
Right.
But they say that gravity is actually keeping things stuck to the sides, right? It's
Right,
like
but then that's where I believe that magnetic fields take place instead of gravity per se, because
yep.
if you're trying to tell me that
Yep.
if you spin something fast enough, it's going to reverse the whole theory of what you're talking about, and it's going to start attracting instead of pushing. I've never seen any of that ever happen, ever.
Well, that's not what they say gravity is. They say gravity is just the mass of the Earth warping space-time. And what is space-time? It's more Einsteinian theory, right?
Yeah, that's
Space is a physical place. We live in space for sure. But time is like the construct of man, right? It's like a chain of events. It's a flow of events.
You're online.
Yeah, we're on live, but I
Yeah,
talk with my
yeah.
hands. Sorry.
All right,
you
man.
want to come on and say hey real quick?
Oh, I'm all over the
There's Chuck. What's up? Oh.
How you doing?
There's
you
Chuck. But yeah, but no, real quick, let me just finish the point because I think it's an important one. You nailed it though when you said electromagnetism,
Yeah.
because that's what ultimately causes what goes up to come down. Because that's definitely a thing. I'm not going to
Yeah,
disagree
no.
with you that like if you drop something it'll fall,
Yeah.
but that's like gravity's something else entirely. What that is density and buoyancy. Like if you got a helium balloon, it raises.
Right.
If you got a brick, it falls. But that same brick will fall to the bottom of the ocean. It will not, however, fall past. Gravity is confused or conflated with the fact that what goes up must come down. All right, well, yeah, man. The other day at Wally World for a steal. You like? Thank you. I love the Ramones. All right, Bud Green, same one, color one. Rate to say than a black and white, indeed. Okay. And OIC says, we do our best to understand. Sometimes I wonder if understanding the unknown is actually possible. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to wrap this one up for the evening. One love, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, everybody. And if I could figure out how to stop.